What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Ville Outdoors here. Today is August 13th of 2024, and we are here on the saltwater looking for any new species we can find, really. So it is about 8:30 in the morning right now, and with a couple stops in between, we'll probably be fishing till 4 p.m. So we're gonna get to work and we're gonna see what we can find. Starting off here with the Sabiki rig. This is the Hayabusa Sabiki rig. I searched up micro Sabiki rigs on Google, and this is what came up. So this is what I ordered and what I have rigged up on the rod here, and that is what we're going to start jigging around this dock pilings here and see if there's any senet or any other species around. The tide's not really moving right now. It's just about low tide, so not going to be too much action probably, but later in the day we'll have more action. I just wanted to get an early start for the day. That way we're already here and can switch spots easily and not have to drive very far later in the day. Alright guys, we got our first fish of the day here, and this is actually a species of jack. Looks like an Atlantic crevalle jack. Go ahead and take a shot and release this guy. Alright guys, our second fish of the day is actually my target species. This is a northern senet. It's a species of barracuda actually, but that is one of our targets. So that is officially species 169 for us, the northern senet. So we're going to take a shot at this guy and then we're going to let him go. Alright guys, last look at our northern senet here. We're going to get him in some sunlight, that way you can see him better. And we're going to go ahead and let him go. Alright guys, we just caught another new species. This is a species of anchovy. I have to identify it, but he is squirming like heck. We may keep this guy for bait, because he's probably not going to last too much longer once we take pictures. But that is another new species for us. Some type of anchovy. So, there he is. Alright, so basically what I've been doing is just dropping the Sabiki straight down from my rod. Oh, just had something come out and smack it. And I'm just bouncing the rod tip up and down by like a few inches each time. And that's just going to look like these little things dancing around, and it fires up these bait fish and they'll try and strike it. And occasionally you hook one. Most of the time you don't really hook one, just because the bait fish aren't like intentionally feeding on it. You just kind of like floss them sometimes. But the senet will take it, and the jack will take it. The senet and jack are more of a summertime fish, although senet are much more common than the jacks. We got another fish here. This is, what do we got here? This looks like a silver side. Where's another anchovy? It's another anchovy. But that one is on the hook. We got here another species for the day. This is a micro-sized bluefish, it looks like. We'll take shots of it just in case we're wrong, but I'm pretty certain that's what it is. It's grunting like one. Well guys, I can tell you what, catching these anchovies is probably the easiest lifer that I've gotten recently. I mean, I caught 5 or 6 of those things so far. So if you don't have anchovy yet, here's another one. I would just grab yourself one of these Sabiki rigs, come to the saltwater, and catch one. Because these guys are everywhere, and they are surprisingly aggressive. The downfall to them though is they get scales absolutely everywhere. I've caught one Atlantic crevalle jack, one northern senet, one bluefish, and all the rest have been anchovies. I've been here maybe 10-15 minutes. Might try and find a new school bait to fish and see if I can get anything else besides those fish that we just mentioned. Wow guys, this is a super lucky catch. This is an Atlantic moonfish, which is a relative of the look down. I'm going to take a picture of it real quick before it gets a little messy, because it looks like he is bleeding a little bit. That is super cool. We're going to go ahead and release this guy and let him swim back. That is our third new species of the day. Go ahead and let him flop back in the water. He's good to go. He swam off pretty strong. I don't know why that fish was bleeding so much. I hooked him right in the mouth, right where you're supposed to hook him. He wasn't hooked in the gills or anything. But 3 new species in less than an hour of fishing. And Atlantic moonfish is one I definitely didn't have on my radar for today. So that is just awesome. Man, that was like right away, and now there's nothing. Weird how that works. Might have to split this video up into 2 videos with how well we're doing, because I plan to hit other spots later in the day, but so far this is all been at one spot. This here is not a new species for us. This is a spot, very common fish found here in the saltwater in the northeast. This thing bit a Sabiki rig that wasn't baited with anything, so that just shows you how aggressive these things are. But this is a species I caught several times before, so we're gonna go ahead and just let this guy go. Kind of lost track of how many species we're at now. We got Atlantic crevalle jack, we got northern senate, we have anchovy of some sort, I believe a bay anchovy, so that's 4 just right there. And then we got moonfish, Atlantic moonfish. These are more anchovies here. They both appear to be the same species. That one might swim back. The other one probably won't. So we're going to keep him for bait. Yeah, so I think we're at like 5 or 6 species already. And it's been less than an hour that we've been fishing. So, very productive outing so far. This is now the 3rd juvenile bluefish that I have caught. I was hoping that I would be able to get another species of jack or jack relative off the board, like a scad or something like that, but no such fish has come up yet, but we still got plenty of day left. I planned on fishing till about like 4 p.m. ish, somewhere around there, before I make my way home. So it's about 10:30 right now. I think what I plan to do is give this another half hour or so, and then try and find a bait shop, grab some bait, and then we'll maybe switch our approach from the Sabiki to something else to go after slightly larger fish. We got another striped anchovy. I confirmed that that is the species that I've been catching today. All striped anchovy. Alright guys, we made it to spot number 2 for the day, and hopefully there's some fish here, because I had to pay $2.55 to park. So we're going to start off with the St.Croix Triumph travel rod. It's a 4-piece 6.6 medium heavy rod. I have about a 1.5 foot of line, and then I have a 1.5 ounce sinker, and then up from that I have a little dropper loop connected to a swivel, which has my hook and a piece of clam. So I'm going to try and fish some of this structure over here and see if we can get any interesting fish to show up. The reason I have my bait up so high is because I'm trying to avoid bottom feeding fish. Looks like there'd be a billion spot in here. Some of them I can even see from up on the walkway here. But we have our bait casted out there, and we're gonna hope there's some interesting fish that's going to come along and smack the clam. I also brought the Sabiki rod and another rod for artificial that we can toss in here, see if there's some flounder around. I don't know how much fishing we'll do here because I'm down to less than 50 minutes that I have here because I only put parking for 1 hour, but that's okay. It's still low tide, beginning of incoming tide, so I don't know if there'll be too much fish here anyway, but yeah, this is what we're working with right now. I think I'm gonna want my bait closer to those pilings over there. It's a little better. Might already have fish on here. Let's see. I hope we do have a fish. What do we got? It is, wow. It is a black sea bass. This is one of those fish I was trying to avoid catching. But, alright, he's just gonna go back in the water. Actually, he's just gonna lay on the dock. How about that? There he goes. Black sea bass, our 7th species of the day, I'm pretty sure. We're just gonna toss him back in the water, and I'm gonna need a new piece of clam now. All right, well, we got our 8th species of the day. Oh, he's not too happy now. But this is a cunner, or what some people call a bergal. This is a tiny one. This is a member of the wrasse family, also related to the tautog. This guy we might be able to save for cut bait and try him for a raise or something, but that's what they look like. So we're gonna go ahead, maybe save this guy for bait, but we're gonna keep trying for our triggerfish. Sorry, there's a train going by. All right, well, this spot did produce something cool. We got our 2nd northern sennit of the day. We'll take a shot at this guy since we only caught one earlier, and we'll go ahead and let this guy go. According to my phone, I have 20 minutes left before my hour is up. So we'll see what we can do. But sennit number 2 is officially caught and released. You might be able to see the little teeth they got there. He's going back in the water. All right, guys. We made it to the inlet. This will be our last fishing spot of the day and where we'll spend the most time at. I'm going to start off by trying for some flounder here with the double gulp rig. So we're going to cast this out towards the middle and start jigging that around. And then we'll see how things go from there. I haven't seen anyone catch anything yet in the little while I've been here. So we're just going to reel and jig this out. So far, fishing at the inlet here has not been the greatest by any means. I got a few bites on the clams, but nothing else. Maybe small tautog or small cunner, something like that, but not seeing anyone else catch any sort of flounder, bluefish, anything gamey like that. So I think I'm going to throw around the Sabiki rig, see if there's anything. It's an hour from peak high tide, so I think I'll do that until high tide, and then probably go back to the first spot and see if the high tide brought anything different in from what we were catching this morning. I think that's my current plan, but we'll see how things go. But fishing here at the inlet has not been great. Well, guys, we are back at spot number 1. And it has still been pretty slow. I just caught another striped anchovy, and this here is a spot that I just caught. But nothing that exciting. I did see my needlefish one more time, as there we see our spot. But the needlefish wanted nothing to do with me once again. But that's okay. The needlefish aren't going anywhere. They're here every year from my understanding. So there'll be plenty of other opportunities. But yeah, from what I said in the first part of the video, where we might need to split that into 2, well, I think I may have jinxed myself, because all the action happened earlier this morning, and ever since then it's been a struggle to catch some fish. We made out pretty well at the second spot. We caught like 3 or 4 sennit, a cunner, and a black sea bass. But at the inlet we caught nothing. So I'm just throwing the Sabiki again here at the dock. Nothing new showing up yet though. There we go guys, there's another fish, but it is one we already caught today. That is another northern sennit, the relative of the great barracuda. But this is no barracuda, so he's going back in the water. That's the third species of fish on my second attempt fishing this spot. I think we're still at 7 total on the day though. Another little crevalle jack there, it looks like. Our third one of these today. Take a shot and then release this guy. This is a nice northern sennit here. We kind of foul hooked him a little bit, but that's alright. We're just gonna undo his eye piercing we gave him, and he is back and good to go. Off to flop into the water. I've caught about a bajillion striped anchovies doing the same thing I was doing earlier. Pretty much standing at this exact spot and just bouncing the Sabiki rig up and down, using my arm to lift the rod up about 5 or 6 inches off the bottom, letting it bounce back to the bottom, and then rinse and repeat. And that's pretty much what I've been doing to catch all the fish I've caught here at the dock, including the jacks. And the moonfish I cast out a little bit, but that's the only one that's really different here. What do we got here? This is another little bluefish, species we've already encountered today. That is like our 5th one I think we've caught. Well guys, we just Sabiki'd another fish here, and this is another new species for us. This is an Atlantic menhaden, or what most people call plunker. So this is a common species of bait fish we have here in the Northeast, but we're gonna go ahead and let that guy go. He served his purpose. It's not often that they eat artificial. They're more of like a kind of like a filter feeding fish almost, but it worked out. We flossed one and we were able to get it hook and line. Alright guys, I waded into this grass to look for a particular species of fish, but I'm not seeing that particular species of fish in this grass. Since it's high tide, my visibility isn't great in the deeper grass. In the shallow grass I can still see, but I'm only seeing some mummy shogs and not the target species. But that's okay, perhaps another time. We already did a lot of damage today for the species list. We got 4 species added to the list. So we went from 168 species to 172, which is not a bad day at all. I will take that any day of the week. But we are gonna get out of here and begin the drive home. It's an 1.5-hour drive back to Pennsylvania, and particularly back to my house. But I will be back here in the near future to look for more species of fish, and hopefully some cool ones too. So stay in tune to the channel for more uploads. I'm not sure whether you'll see this video this week of the 12th, but perhaps maybe next week you guys will see this video. I'm not sure how much time I'll have to edit this video this week. We got some other trips planned, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next episode of the Ville Outdoors.